Tonight, Frank Harts, very gifted actor. I met him when I went to the public this year with my friend Barbara Jimenez. She's an amazing actor, and we go to the theater very often. And I met this wonderful man on stage when I saw you at the Tempest. It was at the Public Theater, Delacorte Theater in Central Park. That was from, I have it here, from May the 27th to July 5th.
Yeah, that's right.
And it was directed by Michael Greif.
Michael Greif, yes,
Greif.
Absolutely.
Michael Greif. I tell you, when I went to see the plays, like The Tempest is, Frank, and you correct me if I'm mistaken, please. Everything is subjective, but when I went, The Tempest is one of the most difficult plays. People consider The King Lear and The Tempest the most difficult plays of
right?
Shakespeare. I don't know why. Do you think that's a myth? Now that you worked in the production, what do you think? People think that, The Tempest is a tough play.
I don't know, Sissy, I found it so easy. Shakespeare is just a cinch. It's just the work is so easy. I just nailed it, No, this is very difficult. Yeah, Shakespeare's he's hardcore.
He's hard.
Yeah, and The Tempest is, the truth is, in the end, it did seem very seamless, like a breeze, but that was because of the wonderful direction of Michael Greif and the great ensemble spirit, I think, that we all had with Sam Waterston and Jesse Tyler Ferguson.
All of you guys.
Everybody was bringing their A game, so in the end, it really was a seamless experience, but hard work. Yeah, a lot of hard work.
He seems to have great instincts, as this director, Michael. I was not familiar with his work, but like I said, in my opinion, The Tempest, it is one of the most difficult plays to direct, and the long monologues, and Prosper has these long monologues, man. And I don't know, Sam Waterston, I mean, he's such a gifted actor, this man. I didn't see him in King Lear, because I saw a production at the Public. I'm a fanatic of the Public. I think the Public they just do exquisite work for free in the park, man.
That's great.
You can't beat it.
No, you can't.
You can't beat it. But I know, I was reading that Sam Waterston did a production of King Lear at the Public. I missed that one. The one that I seen was with Kevin Kline.
Okay.
A few years back, and he was really good at it.
Is that right?
Yeah, it seems like he brought Lear to himself.
No surprise, fellow Juilliard alum, Mr. Kevin Kline, he's a talented guy.
Yeah. So tell me about the process. How do you get casted in this production? The first day of rehearsals, do you remember? It was difficult, it was fun, it was scary, it was challenging for you?
Yeah, I think, for me, I got out of Juilliard in 2002, and
impressive.
It's primarily thanks to Shakespeare. I came out of high school though, so for the first few years, I think my head was completely somewhere it shouldn't have been. But
what do you mean by that?
Well, it's a public network. I don't want to,
we can't. Well,
so
you're right.
They can guess. They can put my head wherever they want to put it.
Okay.
But basically, I sort of, after the 4 years of intense classical training, we did a lot of contemporary developmental work as well with the new playwrights there, as well. But I didn't really want to do any Shakespeare after I got out of Juilliard for about a decade. I had enough, I just, it frightened me. I think it was what it was. It just, even though I had all that great training, you can't do anything more difficult and taxing and all-consuming than you can when you do a Shakespeare play. So, I said all that to say, when the audition came, I've been, meeting with the public for years for different projects, and this Tempest audition came along, and I said, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and I think it's time. And I'm going to go in and I'm going to do this, I'm going to play Sebastian in the audition room the way that I think it should be done. I'm not going to pull any punches. I'm going to bring my voice to the character and to the play exactly the way I think it should be done. And if it works, it works. And if it doesn't, well, I move on to the next thing. But if it does work, then we're going to, the director and I know we click and we're going to have a great time. And it worked.
Yes.
And we're both Geminis. You know, I feel like it's the strangest thing. Like, I'm not a big astrological sign guy, but I know a few things. I know what I am. I'm a Gemini, and I know that half of our cast, very large cast,
Yes.
happen to be Geminis.
Oh, okay.
And that just, for some odd reason, it worked. Whatever energy that brought to the table in a strange way. But anyway, not to get off track. Yeah.
No, I'm listening to you. It's exquisite to hear you. So you have all the Julia training, and then you decided to go in. You went in.
Yeah, went in. Yeah, and you know, yeah, I think Michael and I had a similar vision. And then after we got in the room, we just followed his lead. Mm-hmm. And obviously, he's a pretty good leader.
Yes.
And
he seems to be very clear.
Very clear.
Right.
Sometimes so clear I want to wrestle him to the ground and put him in a submission hold. But in general, but actually the truth is I like that actually.
Yes.
I don't like it when, I love people like Michael Greif who don't beat around the bush, directors who...
They go right on it.
They get right to it.
Right
they get right to the point. So you can get the job done, you know?
Right.
Who needs to sugarcoat it?
Right. No.
You know, we're here to
learn, to grow.
To bring something to life, and, you know, it's okay to be honest.
Yes, of course. The rehearsal process, it was taxing. I mean, how was it? Do you guys, and I'm kind of wondering, because every director is different and everybody brings different things to the table, do you guys have time, I know, a little bit, time to improv, time to play a little bit, time to just to explore without the text, or not much at all?
Not so much with Shakespeare.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Because... you know, it's pretty much, you're pretty much going to go with what's on the page.
What's right on the page.
With the contemporary works, which I also love, I've had the good fortune of developing a lot of brand new plays and originating a lot of roles off Broadway here in New York over the years. And that's when you get to really play and improv and develop in that sort of fashion. With Shakespeare, it's
because I was reading about Judi Dench, that she says that she likes, you know, when she, but like everybody's different, everybody has a different approach, but she likes to play with Shakespeare, you know, there's some directors that come in, and certainly it's about the text, because he's a genius, he's a master of the language, but I was kind of curious, because in the way they were set up, it seemed to me was such a sense of freedom with the actors on stage. You guys were pretty comfortable out there.
Yeah, that just comes with the fact that everybody's just a real pro, you know. I mean, it's the NBA of actors, you know what I mean? Real actors, you know. And I think that what happens when you have those kinds of people in a space is that even if you're restricted in a sense by this very strict blueprint, you know, Shakespeare, Scansion, all that stuff, you still find a freedom with the language and ability to take what's there and work within the box and stay free within the box. So that it really seems like he created it for the first time ever. I mean, that's the goal with any play.
Right.
But somehow becomes more and more difficult with a Shakespeare play, because it's been done so many times, and you know,
and everybody knows
that you're up against all of this history.
Yes.
It's like, oh, so-and-so played this role before me, and that person, and that person.
Oh, man, if
for
you
centuries.
Think about it, you go crazy, right?
And so you just it's freeing in a way, because you get to the point where you're like, there's nothing I can do about that. I mean, I'm going to do the best work I can possibly do.
Right on.
And people are going to feel what they're going to feel. But that has nothing to do with the work I have to do. And so that's freeing, you know?
Sure.
It really
sure
is.
It is.
Yeah, because you come in with very strict parameters.
Right.
But then you just feel sort of free within those parameters to play. And that's, I think, what you saw on the stage.
Yeah, I saw all the actors being so free and open. And once again, it seemed to me the director, he was very clear about what he wanted to accomplish. And
Michael's very clear.
It was quite an ensemble. Quite an ensemble, you guys together. Taxing to do it. I mean, do you do it from Thursday to Sunday? It was from,
you know what? Pretty much every day of the week except one day. I think we had Sundays off. It sort of switched as we went along.
Yeah.
Usually you have one day, a specific day of the week off. I think the most popular day is on Monday in the theater. But with this run, it seemed to shift from week to week. But yeah, we had one day off a week.
Nice.
And it didn't seem too taxing, though, because we didn't have any matinees.
Right.
You know, and that does make a difference.
Right. I went to see Cymbeline not too long ago, and I was, and I'm an actor, and I'm a big fan. Get your water, Frank. Don't, please.
No, I'm going to say it, because there are a few drops.
You're going to save it for the end?
I'm going to save it. No, I'm going to save it. I want to ration it out.
Okay.
I just want to ration it
That's why I
out.
told you want some water.
There's nothing worse than being completely out of water.
I know,
And so, you know,
right?
well,
So we make-
now I know there's some in the bottle.
So now you're gonna
And
keep
so
it,
I feel
sure.
comfortable with that. It doesn't
Okay.
matter how, you know, thirsty I actually get. I know there's always water there. But if the water runs out, I'll feel restricted and I'll feel like I'm going to die on camera, you know, because I know that even though I'm getting more and more thirsty as time goes on, there's no water. There's none, Sissy. And
Okay.
so I just wanted you and the viewers to know how comfortable I am with the amount of water in that bottle.
Yeah, but you see, I don't know if I am that comfortable myself because I wanted to make sure to give you more water, man. And I'm like, wait a second. We're going back in the truck because I want to go back to your background, your training, your experience
Sure,
as an actor.
yeah,
You
why
as
not?
an actor, aside of the Tempest. The reason why we're talking about the Tempest because this is where I met you, this is where I saw you.
That's right.
And I said to Charles Casano, one of my associate producers, Charles and Alex, I said, you know what, I saw this guy, saw this actor, the public, I loved him, let's see if we can bring him in. That's
Yep.
why it's like, you know, sent you a message, I said, Charles, sent a message to his agent and let's get this done. When I went to see Cymbeline at the public, I loved it. I went on a Saturday, last show was on a Sunday, and I was waiting for the cast, man, and I was so happy to see everybody was so good. Kate Burton, she's so accessible.
Yeah.
And so open.
Yeah.
So, what do people tell you at the end for, you know, when they wait at the end?
Yeah,
Do you like to talk to people?
Oh,
You
yeah,
just
yeah.
go straight home and just
Oh,
not.
no, I love to talk to people. I mean, it just depends, you know. It depends on who. If I know that, usually when I come out of the Delacorte, I mean, or well, any theater, but we're talking about the Delacorte, I go straight home unless I know I have people there.
Right.
You know, and or if people want to talk, then I stop and talk. But if people are like, "Hey, how you doing? Oh yeah, where's Sam?" You know, then I'm like,
it
okay,
doesn't
then
work
I
that
just
way.
then I keep it moving. You know, I just, you know,
Right.
if people want to talk, I talk.
Sure.
And if they're on some other mission, then that's fine too. It just depends. It's like a night by night sort of thing, you know.
Right. Right.
But yeah, that's the thing, you know. It's what's great about doing theater in New York City. You know, it just no matter what you're doing, whether it's the Tempest at the Delacorte or you know, Broadway or anything, you get a crowd that is usually fairly familiar with. They've seen a lot of plays.
Yeah.
And they know when
yeah.
it's good, and they know when it's not. You know, it's not something they're into.
Right.
And you also get the tourist mix too. So you
Right.
have these theater veterans,
Which is a
right?
whole mix, too,
and then you
right
get this
there.
tourist mix as well, which is kind of interesting. So
And
you have
unpredictable, too,
fresh,
to some
unpredictable,
degree,
fresh
right?
perspective. Yeah.
Interesting. Now, let's go back to your background, the beginning,
Yeah,
when you decided
yeah.
to become an actor.
Yeah,
Let's
man.
talk a little bit about that.
I mean, I grew up in a small farm town in Illinois, 2 hours west of Chicago, right on the border of Iowa, a town called Rock Falls.
I thought you were from New York. You me, man. Well, you look like a New Yorker.
I mean, officially,
100%.
I mean, I've been here since like I said, I got out of high
Forever.
school in '98, so I'm pretty much a New Yorker now. But it all started in this sort of red area of a very blue state, it's Reaganville. You know, Ronald Reagan was born 10 minutes from me,
Help me, Lord.
and yeah, and so that's, you know, it was. I wanted to get out of there. Now looking back on it, I really appreciate where I came from. You know what I mean, and the
Sure
people
you
there.
do.
And but growing up, I was ready. I was bored. I had a mother who was very supportive, and you know, I was. This was pre-Barack Obama, so I'm a biracial kid growing up in the '80s in the Midwest. With and most people have no reference point for that. I mean, now
Yes.
it's like, you know, oh, your mother's white is from. Oh, I see. Oh, so it's like Barack Obama. Like your mom's from Kansas, your dad's from Nigeria, and you're going to be president. I get it.
Yeah.
You know, but growing up in the '80s, it was like, but
Right,
are you
it was-
adopted?
Yeah.
You know, but it was just weird. And anyway, but now you know, it's easier to embrace.
Of course.
But I was able to do that through the arts, I think, before, you know, Barack came along or before I got out of high school. And so what happened was I did everything when I was in high school. Theater, football, baseball,
You name
wrestling,
it.
key club, student council, anything I could do to keep myself busy. Got in some trouble, too. You know, whatever I needed to do to stay busy. And that all led to, you know, I did some community theater work around there in the summers. I think I ran this Follow Spot to begin with. Met a big-time casting director from Chicago who introduced me to my first agent, told me about Juilliard. And for the 4 years I was in high school, I researched Juilliard.
As much as you could,
I
man.
prepared, and senior year came, and I went and auditioned in Chicago. They pick 20 people out of the world every year,
I
and
know.
for some reason they decided to pluck me out of the Midwest
How
and bring me
blessed.
here, and I've been here ever since. You know.
How blessed you are. Let's talk about the Juilliard ride, man.
Here we go.
Tell me, oh God,
Here we go.
help me. I told you about the water. You see, that's why I sensed it, because when I saw the bottle and saw the water, I said, wait a second, I don't know if
Yeah.
he's gonna make it without that, but you're
Yeah.
gonna
No,
make
it's
it
great.
last to the end, the last drop.
No, it's great. Yeah, because I don't want any nicknames at this age, especially not something like Cottonmouth or something. Nicknames are supposed to come when you're like younger, not when you're this age.
Right.
So,
But you are pretty good. Come on, genes. Look at you. You
No,
don't
it's
have
great.
one wrinkle on your face,
Well,
Frank.
you
I don't
know,
know how
listen,
you do it, but that's
hey,
besides the point.
I'll be 70 years old next week, and I'm keeping it tight. A lot of
Very
salmon,
nice, very
and
firm.
yoga.
A lot of water.
Yeah, a lot of water, salmon, and yoga.
And your wife keeps you busy too. I
And
hope
right,
she does.
A lot. She keeps me very busy.
She's a
Yeah.
wonderful singer, I heard, an actor.
She's a superb actor, singer, and actually she'll be performing in Atlantic City with Vanessa Williams next weekend, I think.
Oh,
yeah.
God.
But yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to get off track.
Yes, Juilliard. Let's talk about the experience when
Yeah.
you. How was it? I mean, let's talk about it because we want to break the myth. Juilliard is great, but give me the insights. Give me the world when you went in, the first class, the second class, the orientation class, and
Yeah.
getting to know the teachers, getting to know, this world, and getting in touch.
Well, it was
with
interesting
this.
because they everyone who came was the best
everything.
from where they came from,
Right.
according to them.
According to them, that's correct.
Like I thought I was like, wow, I'm such a good actor. You know what I
then
mean?
you go in.
Wow. I'm like, I'm just undiscovered. I'm just here in the cornfields, and someday Spielberg's going to find me. And what? I got into Juilliard, and damn, I'm good. And then you get to New York City, and you walk into Lincoln Center, and you meet your classmates, and they have a monologue presentation for you get to see what everybody did to get in. And you realize that, you're not the only person who can act.
Right.
There are other people out there who have this gift too.
Right.
And then immediately that's a humbling experience. So you're like, okay, I'm talented.
Yes.
There are other talented people. I'm not here to be, the best or whatever. I'm here to just be the best I can be.
Right.
And so I think that was what the first 2 years were about, is just finding my feet, literally on the stage, instead of just this neck up sort of acting. I had no connection with my body whatsoever,
Interesting.
so just
Okay.
becoming more, becoming more connected to the body, I think, and respecting that as a tool to use, other than just, yapping at the mouth. Just talking is not enough. It has to be fully connected to character. And so what they do is that first year is all about eliminating all of the tricks, the bag of tricks that you come in with that make
that's
that
so
the thing that
refreshing
makes
to hear,
you
man.
you, which is important to hold on to.
Right, but
That spark.
it's part of it, but not.
Moving it to the side so that you can then become a neutral palette, tabula rasa, and just be a neutral palette on
empty
which
canvas, man.
to build,
Right.
to paint.
To paint.
Otherwise, you can't play,
Right.
these different characters.
I agree
you know.
100%.
And most importantly, what you learn probably not only throughout your entire life, but also in a place like Juilliard, if you're lucky, is how to become more familiar with who you actually are as a human being. So that, because I don't believe that you can fully take on another character until you
Get to know
yourself. But in an honest fashion.
Right.
And one that you're willing to sort of share with the world, the good